Tuesday the 15th.
To adjourn?
No, call to order.
Okay.
Did I say adjourn? I'm sorry. It was a quick meeting. It's really a blink of
That
the
would set
eye.
an all-time record.
Yes. All right, I'm sorry. We'll move to call to order the regular meeting of the Chicago Board of Election Commissioners for Tuesday, January 13th, 2015. Again, Langdon Neal, Chairman of the Board. To my left is Commissioner Marisol Hernandez, and Commissioner Richard Cowan is joining us by phone. And there's a motion to allow Commissioner Cowan to join us by phone in this motion. Now second, all those in favor? Aye. First item on the agenda is approval. We don't have any minutes. The Executive Director's report. Mr. Goff, you've been waiting 2 hours and 15 minutes to talk. The stage is all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just well, Mr. Resistant has 11:30 meeting, so we've just mentioned briefly about ballots. Gary, you want to give a rundown of where we are on the printing right now?
Commissioners, where we're at right now, we hope to today to release the Lake County Press, and I spoke with Paige and Randy Elder from Dominion to get test decks for the first 29 wards. We need to get started. We're going to be pressed at the warehouse a little bit right now, trying to get pre-lat going for grace period and early vote, and into precinct pre-lat. We know of 3 cases in judicial review already, so we're hoping to get these 29 wards released today, to get them on the press by no later than Friday, so the warehouse can begin their process.
Okay.
But again, we have to wait till all cases are completed before we start doing cartridge creation, because we can end up with multiple versions of it, which tend to be a nightmare.
So in those 29 wards, we don't have any judicial review?
That's correct.
Okay. And Mr. Scanlon, what is the roster of cases that remain, watch your foot, Chair, remain to be considered by the Electoral Board?
We have 12 cases remaining.
12 cases remaining?
Yes.
Okay. And I suppose it's 12 different wards?
I don't know. I think Mr. Resizza is
I think
a better judge of that.
8 wards.
8 wards, okay.
But we still have other cases that are completed, we've done already,
Where there's
but we have to wait for the judicial review period to end.
And how many cases do we have in judicial review now?
3 so
okay.
far.
All right. 8 and 3 is 11, but that's just, somebody's math is up, but we won't quibble with that.
No, some of them are still, we don't know if they'll go to judicial review.
Oh,
That's
okay,
the
it's
point
still,
here.
I got you,
There's
got
like,
you, okay.
what, 7 days, Jim?
5 years.
5 days,
5.
5 days, I got you. Okay. Okay,
the other items, Paige, you've completed with your work on the E2Ps. Translation work has been completed.
Correct, yes. We're going to be continuing to push the ballot as we continue to update candidate status. And as soon as we have the ballot finalized, we'll be ready.
okay, great,
Okay.
thank you, Paige.
Mr. Allen, online absentees online already. Mailing, we're starting to get applications for absentee ballots in already. We're starting to put those in. Jeff Durkee had already done, with the military and overseas, there were approximately 39 that were processed and already sent out by the deadline, so I would let the board know about that. We have, we're placing extra equipment. We've sat down and we met with the libraries and some of our early voting sites. We're doubling up on the equipment. Even though this ballot is so small, we don't know what the turnout's going to be, so we're preparing for the worst. So I think we're prepared, and there shouldn't be any problems for this upcoming election, Mr. Chairman. We put together a TAC for the e-poll books. I think it'll work. I think we'll be in good shape on that end. Judd Ryan was in. He had to leave. He fly out of town, but we will give you a written report on that to the board members.
Okay.
Like I say, audio recording, proofing, Everything seems to be going well. Met with Charles and the staff down in registration department. There are approximately, we have registrations in, approximately 10 or 15,000 registrations that need to be put into the system. The 47E envelopes, the envelopes that we use on election day where there people voted by affidavit or provisionally, we have already started working on those. Those should be finished by this Friday. So right now, everything's going pretty well. Hopefully, another 2 weeks, we should be all caught up. But we're really behind because of these petitions, these checks just really brought us to our knees. Also, I'd like to to make note that Noah Prates from Cook County loaned us 12 employees to help out with the petitions.
Right.
And it was very helpful. So I told him I appreciate all of his help and I'd let the board members know. But that's where we're at right now, Mr. Chair.
Any questions for Mr. Gold? All right. Ms. Bateman's busy preparing for the election.
Bateman.
Mr. Allen.
Very brief, we've been very busy lately with several of the items that Mr. Bob just referenced, especially all of the translations and the rapid turnaround of the website, all the different pages, everything from military overseas to fast fact cards to the household mailing. So between November and February, there isn't a whole lot of breathing room. And then we also have to keep all of the information up to date on the Electoral Board activities. So unless you have any questions, I'll leave it at that.
No, I think we keep track of what you're doing almost on a daily basis, Mr. Allen.
If not more so.
Yes.
And it's welcome.
Yes. Okay. Any questions for Mr. Allen?
No.
Okay. Infrastructure projects and changes in election administration, evaluations and recommendations for 2013. Mr. Cowan, do you want to go through your long list of?
Well, no, we'll defer that until
Oh,
after
okay.
we finish the Electoral Board.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Cowan. Electronic poll books. I saw Mr. Ryan before the meeting. He indicated that he wanted to give us an update on his progress, so I said after we get through the hearings, we'll address him.
It'll be in, he had to leave, catch a plane, but I will give you a written documentation on that.
He said he's keeping staff up to date on
Yes, we are.
enhancements
Yes.
and refinements.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All righty. We'll move to voting equipment. I think Paige has already talked about that unless there's anything else to talk about. All righty. Legislation. Mr. Scanlon, anything there?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, as you may know, the governor signed a couple of bills before his term expired. One was the omnibus bill that was passed by the General Assembly during the veto session, making a number of changes to the election code, but I believe we already had full discussion about that legislation, all of which will take effect June 1 of this year. So it does not affect the February or April 2015 elections. These will kick in beginning with the 2016 elections. He also signed a bill that would provide for a special election in November of 2016. The bill, it applies to all statewide constitutional offices. But as you know, there was a vacancy in the office of comptroller, and so there would be, under this new legislation, assuming it is signed by the governor and not vetoed, it would provide for a special election for comptroller in November of 2016. And that would be in conjunction with the existing schedule for 2016, general primary and the November general election. So I will provide the commissioners with full copies of those bills soon.
Okay. Refresh my recollection, Mr. Scanlon, was was the legislation that allowed 17-year-olds to vote, that we're going to turn 18, was that renewed, or was that just a temporary?
No, it was not. There was a bill.
Yeah.
Well, the legislation does currently provide that persons who will be 17 by the date of the general election in even-numbered years would be permitted to vote in the primary election. But that only applies to the general election.
Correct.
And the general primary. There was a bill in Springfield that would have extended it to all elections, but that bill did not pass.
Okay. I'd like the board to consider, if it's not renewed, to sponsoring its own legislation. Not for this session, of course, but for the spring legislative session. I'll just put it on the agenda. We don't have to vote on it now. And I'd also like the board to consider whether we should suggest to the legislature consider allowing 16-year-olds to vote. There was an article in the Wall Street Journal, I think yesterday or the day before, talking about some state which has allowed 16-year-olds to vote. They found it to be very successful. And I think we should consider whether we want to sponsor a piece of legislation to extend that right for all elections to even 16-year-olds. So we can, maybe the staff can research it and see what their recommendation would be. Certainly not for this cycle, but maybe for the spring legislature. Okay. We have new business. Approval of professional service agreements for polling place administrator services. And trainer sessions for the following people: Sandra Story, Colin Lofton. They're providing training as well, training of the PPAs?
Training.
Correct.
Yes,
Okay, all
this
right.
is strictly training.
For a period of January 1st, 2015 to December 31st, 2015, for the sum of $50 per hour for an amount not to exceed $25,000 for the year. Is there a motion?
I'll
Motion
move approval of the contracts.
Moved and properly seconded.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All righty. That leaves us with financial report. I don't think we have one, do we?
No.
No financial report. So, public comment. Anyone for us today? Yes.
I was going to say good morning, I guess it
It's
still
still
is.
good morning.
I don't have
And nice to see all of you
Yes.
again. Sharon Maroney speaking here from, speaking with regards to the elections and program for the Cook County Republican Party. And I have filed a complaint with the Illinois State Board of Elections that the board has not been forthcoming in providing the data that we need to do our recruitment processes for the current election. And I will be updating that report with an alarm that I'll believe that there'll be 300 to 400. I'm not sure, I'm guesstimating, but I'm trying to be conservative, that there'll be 300 or 400 precincts that do not have bipartisan representation in them for the alderman's election, and I'm trying to address that situation as urgently as I possibly can. I've also raised the issue before this board that on October 23rd, when I appeared before the Cook County judge and with Ms. Audra Lewicki, that she stated that the board was using timestamps and not the supplemental list.
Ms. Maroney, I think we went through that at the last meeting.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
addressed
Yes,
that?
sir.
Yes, right. So what else? I don't think we need to
Well, that
revisit
issue
that.
actually wasn't raised, and in Ms.
I think it was
comments,
raised.
she did not say
I'm
that
pretty
that-
sure it was raised at the last meeting here,
was
where
raised
Joan
afterwards.
Agnew was here. So I don't want to have to revisit and have that, all of that repeated, but do you have anything more to say?
Yes, I would, actually, as I understood what she had to say, and I'm not meaning to contradict you, I believe that what she did not specifically address whether or not its timestamps are being used or the supplemental list. And I would ask that this board please place on the agenda for our next meeting some staff so that we can get that issue properly resolved, because
Well, we
we're
don't-
in the
we
middle of an
don't-
election
I don't-
and we have.
I don't think we put it on the agenda for this meeting.
Right.
If there is something that you'd like
That's
to
what
have
I'm
addressed, then
requesting.
you should contact the appropriate person that's been designated here.
And I will be happy to provide a copy of the letters that I have supplied with the State Board of Elections, stating that it is my belief that the system that is used here is time-stamped and not, and that in fact, the problems that we had in November with, is representative of other elections, trying to say it was all due to one source or another. I don't appreciate having my reputation slandered, as I feel was done here, without protest. I do have what
Well, I think
Mr.
that's mutual on both parts.
Yes.
We don't appreciate having our reputation and name slandered.
Well,
But
I
if
just
you
want our
have,
judges.
if
I
you
just
have
want our
the,
judges.
if you have the letter, we would gladly
Thank you very much,
take a copy and
Commissioner.
note it for the record.
And included with that, I am resubmitting what the board has passed out in the past, which states the number of judges that have failed to show in prior elections. May I approach?
You may.
Thank you. I guess I get this too.
You can hand it to us if you'd like.
Here we go. Thank you. And we have been requesting, Commissioner, I'll get you into, the data reports, and from Ms. Lewicki, and we have not gotten them yet. Chairman Delmar also requested it again yesterday, and we still haven't got it. So we really would like to have our data reports, if we could, please. And I'll get you a copy. I have it right here.
Yeah, no problem.
All righty.
Okay.
Anything else to come before the board?
Thank
you,
you.
Ms. Maroney.
No, I move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn to our next regularly scheduled board meeting, which, are we in the 1 week cycle here,
Yeah.
Mr. Goff, yet or not yet?
We're getting there.
All right, well, should we make the next one the 27th of January?
When are we meeting?
26th of January,
26th.
right.
When are we meeting next week?
Well,
Did we say?
as an electoral board,
Yes.
well.
Thursday.
We're meeting Thursday,
Thursday, and then
and then
next-
again Friday. We didn't set a
No,
time
then
for-
again Monday.
I'm sorry, strike that. You're correct, Mr. Chairman. Monday. We didn't set a time for Monday. I think,
Monday,
I'll throw out 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock's fine.
Okay, so,
King Day.
Yeah, I won't be there. I have to attend Martin Luther King's breakfast.
Sure.
Well,
You still have to.
I mean, I'm still fine with it being, working on the holiday. We can kick the time back a little bit. Is that,
This for Monday?
yes.
Could we make it 10 o'clock? Does that inconvenience anyone?
I don't think so.
no,
When are you, yeah,
So
10
what
o'clock,
about me?
we'll do 10 o'clock on Monday, the
Now,
18th.
is that for the Electoral Board, the regular board, or both?
Just electoral.
Just the electoral board.
Okay, and then the next regular board would be the 27th?
26th,
I'll give you a
26th at 9.
Okay.
Are you troubled by Monday in any way?
No, I would just, because usually we're on Tuesdays, but
I-
changing it to Monday doesn't matter.
Okay. All righty, both you and Mr. Scanlon are troubled by it, okay?
Okay,
All right.
motion?
It's moved that we continue, that we recess the regular board meeting until January 26th at 9. We'll meet as an electoral board Thursday at 1 this week,
And Monday at 10.
and Monday at 10.
Right.
Okay.
Moved and properly seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
We stand
Aye.
in recess. Thank you all. Thank you, Richard. I hope you